Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim. I am the security nerd. I'm out headed to another job, and this time I have my new trailer with me, so I'm kind of excited. But I actually had an idea as I was driving to do a segment for Christmas safety. You know, being a security guy and thinking security most all the time, I always watch posts on social media about car break-ins, about burglaries. I watch the crime rate. I watch this. I watch that. I do a lot of research on statistics and things like that. And one of the ones I see come up every year is people who are average, everyday consumers. Something happens during Christmas time, and all of a sudden now they're interested in home security or home camera systems. So I thought, well, this was a couple years ago I came up with the idea. I thought, well, maybe out on my social media site, I would mention some tips for home security during the holidays, especially during Christmas time, because obviously you have presents under the tree, you have decorations up, things like this. So I wanted to do a quick video on how to stay safe during the Christmas holidays, or how to take the target off your home during the Christmas holidays. And so for the next few minutes, if you stay with me, I'm going to give you some security tips on how to make your home more secure. Now, a lot of these are going to be geared toward the Christmas holidays, but some of these security tips are actually going to be geared toward just any day, every day, living and working and just living your life. Now, I'm not saying be afraid. I'm not saying live in fear. The likelihood of you being burglarized is very small. Things can be replaced. Your peace of mind, it'll take a while for it to come back if something does happen. But for the most part, as long as you practice safety, you should be okay. Now, again, there's no guarantees on anything. There's no guarantees if you do any of this, you'll never be burglarized. There's no guarantees that if you have a security system, a camera system, or anything else, deadbolts, locks all the way up and down your door, locks in every window, there's no guarantee that you'd never be burglarized. You know, we hope and pray that that never happens. And I am 47 years old, and in any of the houses I've ever been in, I've never been burglarized. So, and there are a lot of you the same way. A lot of you might be 50, 60, 70, 80 and never have experienced a burglary or even a car break-in. Now, I've experienced a car break-in, but you know, but that really wasn't a break-in because I can't confirm or deny whether or not I forgot to lock my car door. They didn't take anything of any value because we didn't have anything of any value in the car. But so I have experienced that. And to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I ended up getting security cameras. And when that happened to me, I'm like thinking, I am a security guy. Maybe I ought to learn how to do security cameras. And I had learned back in the day with some of the old analog stuff, but there just wasn't a demand for it as it is now. So I decided to learn. I decided to go with some pros and take a look and see what I could learn from them. I did all my research online, and then I jumped into the business and started my business about 4 years after I was doing it. I actually started my business because I was working with someone else. So so that's kind of a little bit of background there. But so the security part of things is really what I want to focus on today. How to keep your home secure. Security tip number. Now this one, it kind of depends on how you look at it, whether you consider it a security tip or not. But you know, the statistics tell us that burglaries happen between 10 and 2. The majority of them anyway, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So there isn't really a whole lot of break-ins or burglaries that happen after dark time or after nighttime. But a lot of folks like extra lighting. So that could be considered for those consumers who look at security as important. That really could be a good security tip, which would be to get some outside lighting. Outside lighting is pretty easy to do it by yourself. You can get the solar lighting, so you don't have to run any wires. Now for me, I ran wires, and I didn't actually run wires to a fuse box. I actually just ran wires to a plug and then put the wires on the end of a plug and plugged it in. So that way I have a good solid power source. And then I just ran them up the wall and to the hardwired motion light. Now I like it because in conjunction with my security cameras, the more light that's around, the clearer and better my security cameras will be during the nighttime, and that's any security cameras. Now obviously there are security cameras that are better at nighttime without light or whatever, but even when you put light with them, they improve. And I mean by identification purposes and clarity and things like that. So this tip, like I said, it may not be really a tip to you, but to somebody out there watching this, it is. So more security lighting outside. You don't have to have it on all the time, just a motion security light should do. Tip number, when you're out working in your yard, make sure that when you walk around the backyard, you put down the garage door. During the holidays, a lot of people walk around in neighborhoods that don't belong. And they're looking for that one individual that's working in their yard. They'll watch you from a half a block away, or they'll walk by a few times. You're not paying no attention, so you didn't see them walk by a couple times. What they're doing is they're watching for you to either go in the house or go around the back, and then they can get into your garage and steal something from you. Makes for a good present for their kids. So that would be another tip. Make sure that when you're not in the front yard, you close your garage door. Tip number, lock all your doors and all your windows at all times. Statistics tell us that there's a lot of burglaries that happen straight through a front door that was unlocked, straight through a side window that was unlocked or open already. So this tip is pretty self-explanatory. Lock your doors, lock your windows at all times. Security tip number. Now I've been having a hard time trying to find this one actually on a home because I don't have a lot of access to a lot of homes, at least homes that want to be videotaped. So I wanted to go ahead and share this with you. They have a hinge that is a security hinge. These are for doors that swing to the outside. So the idea is that the non-security hinge can be, the pin can be taken out of the hinge, and the door can just come off, come off of the hinges and open the door that way. So the idea for this security tip would be to replace those hinges with a security hinge. And because I don't have access to a real one, on a house, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a picture up real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but ended up finding a door with the security hinge on it. So I wanted to go ahead and show you exactly what I was talking about after the video was posted. So I'll probably end up deleting the video and adding this and putting it back in. But as you can see, there's a little clip here that goes into the little hole here. And what ends up happening is this clip, once it goes in there, it can't be pushed back out. So if somebody were to take this here, this pin out, and try to remove this door from the frame, this pin here will definitely stop it from happening. It's not only on that one, but I've noticed on all three of these, there's one. So this is a very secure door. So this is the security hinge that I was referring to. Back to the regular video. Now, did you notice that the security hinge had a little pin that when shut stuck inside a hole? And it's that security pin that's kind of, bent out a little bit that stops that door from being able to be removed from the hinge. Even if they knock the pin out of that hinge, they're never going to get that door off the actual frame because of that security hinge. So just to reiterate this security tip, if you have a door that swings to the outside where your hinge is visible on the outside of the door, you want to replace that hinge with a security hinge. I was driving home. I drove by security tip number. This is a no-no. Don't ever do this, especially around Christmas time. Because what ends up happening is, you see it? You got it. A big TV box out by the side of the road. Now, what does that tell you? Exactly, right? It tells you that somebody just replaced their TV, which means what? There's a big brand new TV in that home. So I'm gonna tell you, when you think like a thief, that's the worst thing you can do. So take it from a pro, somebody that's been doing this a long time. Security tip number is do not put your boxes by the side of the road. Break them down and recycle them, or break them down, put them in a black plastic bag and get rid of them that way. The reason is because whatever the box is, you're going to tell the thief that's looking at your house, or potential thief that's looking right at your house, yeah, you know you've done it before, don't do it again. That's a bad no-no. And as I'm driving away, that leaves me to security tip number. After you get rid of your box, during the nighttime or evening time, don't watch that big screen TV with your blinds wide open. that is a beacon to your home. And anybody running around casing homes is going to look in there and see that you've got a really nice big screen TV. So back to back, those are 2 safety tips. See you on the next safety tip. All right, tip number. A couple tips ago, I showed you, let me see if I can show you these. I showed you when you have your hinges on the outside, what to do for that in security. Now I want to show you something else. See, you have all of these little areas in here, and when your door, this is not a good door to do this on, but I'm having a hard time finding a door that opens to the inside. But I wanted to show you real quick here. Nope. I wanted to show you real quick here. So, let's see here. This right here. This is where your deadbolt goes into the wall. And the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that this goes all the way in. Because when you move this, if it doesn't click all the way out when it's shut, then you need to make this deeper. All right. The second thing about all of this is that these little screws here, you should make them 2 inches to 3 inches long. And the reason is, if you can see this, even though this is a door opening to the outside, if it were opening to the inside, it'd be the same thing. It's only like 1/4 of an inch here, and this little metal piece. So if somebody give this a really quick swift, we could probably, with the smaller screws, it would just tear this whole thing out and it would come open. But with the longer screws, that is not going to happen. So that would be your next security tip, which is to replace your smaller screws on your deadbolt here with 2.5 to 3 inch screws, and that will solidify that deadbolt in the wall so that somebody can't kick your door in. Safety tip number, well guys, as you know, I am a security guy, and the reason why I'm doing these safety tips is because the holidays are coming up here soon. And although I'm not going to show you the code, you really need to have a home security system.
Disarmed, ready to arm.
And that's tip number. You should get a home security system. And not only that, you should have it monitored as well. And you'll excuse me, you'll watch the other video on monitoring and why it's important, and maybe a good company to find, or how to find a good company. So that is my next tip. Get a monitored security system to keep you guys safe during the Christmas holidays. Security tip number. So we just talked briefly about getting a monitored security system. This next security tip is along the same lines. And it'll be the last one here in this series. That's what you get for getting your window open. All right, this security tip is important. It is to get security cameras. Now, of all of the security tips that I've provided today, this is going to be your most expensive option. And I've got several videos out and several videos coming out on how to choose the right equipment, on why you need it, on the importance of quality and resolution. How cameras work at night. How cameras work during the day. How cameras work to identify. I've got a lot of videos coming out and a lot of ideas to put out on the YouTube channel here, and the content that's just crazy in my mind right now, and the ideas that are coming out. But this one here is a security tip that I hold dear, and the reason is because with a good video camera, you can identify somebody and prosecute that individual. However, if you get crappy cameras and they don't identify, how are you gonna prosecute? You know, I mean, if I were the defendant and I'd be like, that's not me, you can't prove that's me. And talking with police officers, I've been at crime scenes talking to police officers. They tell me they rarely get camera footage that'll identify an individual. I mean, shoot, you see stuff on TV all the time. Identify this individual, and they pop up a picture and it's all pixelated. So it's extremely important when getting camera system to get the right stuff. I've got videos out on wired versus wireless. You know, definitely take a look at that. It's from a different viewpoint. So all the security tips that I've talked about today, as you can see, some of them are just regular, everyday, average security tips that come from years of experience. There's other ones that focus a lot on Christmas and the holidays, and that's really kind of what this video was for. But I thought I'd throw in some extra tips as well. So I'll tell you what, during the Christmas holidays, let's everybody try to stay safe. You follow some of these simple tips and you should have a extremely safe holiday. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe. Hey guys, I'm Tim, the Security Nerd. Thanks so much for watching the content of my channel. If you like it, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you can get all the updates when they come. But I really wanted to take a minute and just say thank you. Thank you for watching. And stay safe.